right now.
A priest in Converse has been removed from the St. Monica's Church after allegations that he sexually abused a child.
The San Antonio Archbishop announced this morning that Alejandro Ortega was removed from his position after, quote, sufficient evidence suggests he sexually abused a teen during a retreat. The Bexar County DA Special Crimes Division assisted in this investigation, and as well as an independent and private investigator. Right now, we don't know if Ortega has been formally charged in this investigation, but you can read the entire Archbishop's statement on Ortega's removal right now on our website, KSAT.com. Tonight, one retired firefighter is calling for more conversations about mental health for first responders. Since the start of this summer, we've already seen the deadliest house fire here in San Antonio in more than a decade and dozens of other troubling calls.
The night team's Avery Everett reports city departments and now nonprofits are stepping up to check on our emergency workers and their families.
The need for first responders has grown so much.
The deadliest house fire in more than a decade and dozens of other shootings and fires. There's been no shortage of calls to first responders this summer in San Antonio.
It's a lot of weight to bear.
A weight that Richard Miller is hoping to help first responders bear the burden of.
It's our responsibility to take care of those that serve us.
The 100 Club is a nonprofit pushing to provide support for first responders across the city and county. After a particularly violent summer, the 100 Club says it's ready to step up and support.
SAFD even has an app and website set up for their firefighters to use on a day-to-day basis. But the 100 Club says checking in on the mental health of first responders also means checking in on their families.
To go off the job and then to your family and be able to turn that off like a switch, it's difficult.
A story that's familiar for Brad Phipps.
They provided us group counseling for not just me, but me and my wife and my children.
6 years ago, Phipps' life was forever changed. He responded to a fire at the Ingram Square Shopping Center. Phipps was one of 2 firefighters injured, but one of his other crew members, Scott Deem, died.
I consider myself lucky that I did survive.
Surviving was only one step in his recovery. Phipps says a push to prioritize his mental health changed the outlook of his life.
Over time, that can definitely take a toll on a person.
And the 100 Club helped him get there.
There is a great deal of generational change that's taking place.
It hasn't been an easy summer for first responders, but Miller at least hopes the conversations of mental health are getting a little easier.
And those conversations are starting to happen everywhere, even if it seems pretty quiet right now at San Antonio Fire Department Station number 4. To see how you can be helped by these resources, you can head on over to KSAT.com. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Avery. Now to Lake Austin, which is happening right now. Several people injured and a teen is missing after a boat ran aground this evening. Austin Travis County EMS is calling the situation a mass casualty event after 6 people got hurt when that boat crashed into the shore.
What we know is several people on that boat suffered serious injuries. What started as a rescue mission earlier tonight, now a recovery mission as they continue to search for that missing teen.
We will keep you updated on that story as we get more information. Back here at home, a San Antonio car wash was dealt some damage after it caught fire today. It happened to the car wash attached to the Exxon gas station near the corner of East South Cross and New Braunfels Avenue just a few hours ago. Several fire units were sent and were able to put that fire out quickly, and thankfully no one was hurt. But investigators are still looking into what sparked that fire.
Tomorrow is back to class for several students in the area. And before going back to class, students in District 3 had a chance today to stock up on some important school supplies.
Yeah, the event was free for students and families in the district. Things like backpacks, school supplies, and haircuts were all given to kids and parents to take advantage of. The District 3 Councilwoman Phyllis Villagran says these back-to-school drives are important for the kids in her district to start the school year off right.
3,000 backpacks were up for grabs today, but the heat shut the event down early. So if your student still needs back-to-school supplies and you live in District 3, just contact their office for help. They probably still have some items left over. And there's now just a few more hours left until thousands of those students head back to class tomorrow, the first day of school for Alamo Heights, East Central, Harlandale, Lackland, Northeast, Southside, and Uvalde CISD. For a full list of school district start dates, there's more on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Just head over to website ksat.com and you'll see them all there.
And the Department of Public Safety wants you and your kids to be safe as the new school year gets underway. DPS is reminding drivers to use extra caution in and around school zones and neighborhoods. The agency is also encouraging parents to talk to their kids about how to stay safe when walking to and from school. A few things drivers can do to keep students safe is follow the directions of the school crossing guards. Do not block a crosswalk when stopped at a red light or stop sign. Always stop when the bus has a flashing red signal on, and follow the speed limits and traffic laws in school zones. And of course, don't be on the phone while you're driving.
And one more quick reminder, if you are sending your students back to class tomorrow, KSAT wants to make sure they are set up for success this year. And we hosted a town hall to help answer questions for parents, students, and teachers might have as they start the new school year. Just head over to KSAT.com to watch or learn more about what was discussed. It's going to be a hot one out there at the bus stop tomorrow.
I was going to say, as they're picking up the backpack, picking up the lunchbox, make sure that the water bottle is also included because triple digits are going to continue for the foreseeable future. Still, today actually was our 48th triple digit day here in San Antonio, and we are just going to tack on to that number even more so in the week ahead. But first, here is your school bus stop forecast. First thing tomorrow morning, I think a few more clouds are going to work back in as the kids are headed out to school. We're going to start off near about 80 degrees, so a warm and muggy start. But like today, plenty of sunshine takes back over. We've got a forecast high around 104. And here's the thing, that heat high pressure that's been in control for so long, it's going to wobble around a little bit in the days ahead, but it's not going away. So more record challenging heat is still in the forecast. But as it moves ever so slightly west, it's possible that we find a stray shower for a few select lucky folks, especially on Tuesday. We're going to get you a look at that setup coming up in just a few.
All right, we'll see you then. Let's take a look at other stories we've been following today. We have now learned the name of a woman who was killed outside a downtown gas station early yesterday afternoon. The Bexar County Medical Examiner says 34-year-old Deanna Mason was shot in her head and chest outside the Valero on the 900 block of West Hildebrand Avenue. And right now, we don't know much about that incident, but police say she and the male suspect who apparently shot her were riding in the same car when they got to the gas station. That man still on the run tonight. No word on any details about him. If you know anything about this case, you are asked to call police or Crime Stoppers as soon as you can.
Well, what started as a couple's kind gesture to a stranger ended with someone being stabbed. It happened around 2:30 this morning in the 3500 block of New Braunfels Avenue. Police say a man and woman were leaving a bar and decided to offer a ride to a woman that they did not know. After dropping her off, the woman lingered around and the man started arguing with her. She cut the man with a knife and ran away. We are having some technical difficulties, so we will be right back.
Power in numbers. For the first time, over 50 organizations across the city are working together to reduce violence in San Antonio. Metro Health is bringing those organizations together to develop a 5-year plan in hopes of cutting down on violence where it happens the most.
The Night Team's Camelia Wada spoke with leaders at one church that joined the effort after losing 2 teenage congregants in separate shootings.
How do we work together?
San Antonio Youth for Christ minister Charles Screen says Manuel and Humberto were both shot and killed in different incidents last year.
Both innocent youth.
Screen says Humberto was shot while walking down the street and Manuel was gunned down while hanging out with his friends.
All these teens are losing their lives, and it's just, I don't feel like we can stand back anymore.
Screen hopes Metro Health's violence prevention strategic plan will be the change.
When we work together, we know there's power in that.
Something is happening and laying out a plan.
Public Health Administrator Erica Haller-Stevenson is bringing over 50 organizations together, ranging from law enforcement, health agencies, nonprofits, and faith-based organizations. They're hoping to tackle 4 categories of violence they say happens the most in San Antonio: gun violence, violence among youth, domestic violence, and sexual violence.
There are places where we overlap in our missions, and if we can harness that and focus on those together, we have a much greater chance of making a big impact on the community.
Metro Health's plan will also coincide with the San Antonio Police Department's violence reduction plan. Part of the police department's plan focuses on the root cause of crime, and that's where Metro Health's plan complements it.
It's an opportunity for their law enforcement approach to tie into our public health approach.
Screen said he is excited to collaborate with other organizations because a similar effort was previously successful in reducing teen pregnancy in San Antonio.
As drastic as that is, this is even more because kids are like literally dying over in our city, and it's getting worse.
Right now, all of the organizations are still collecting data and developing strategies. That includes interventions, services, and programs that reduce violence. The public will have a chance to weigh in on those strategies next month. Reporting live from downtown, Camalia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
A local church hoping to keep crime away from neighborhoods by keeping them clean. World Mission Society Church of God San Antonio spent this morning cleaning up the area of Ray Ellison Boulevard on 410 to Old Pearsall Road. Dozens of volunteers with the Aziz organization within the church came together to help clean the 1.7-mile area.
So we chose this area in hopes that through cleaning up the street and making efforts together that the crime will be reduced in the community.
The Aziz organization is a university student group that works to clean polluted streets, parks, downtown areas, and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
The devastating wildfires that swept across the Hawaiian island of Maui last week are now the deadliest wildfires in modern U.S. history. At least 93 people have died, and that number is expected to rise, with hundreds still unaccounted for. ABC's Melissa Adon is on the ground in Maui, speaking with survivors who say they had no warning.
Parts of Maui left charred by the catastrophic fires that began on Tuesday. The historic city of Lahaina reduced to a pile of ash and rubble.
It's been so hard, very hard.
So far, only a small portion of destroyed structures have been searched for human remains.
And so we're going as fast as we can. But just so you know, 3%, that's what's been searched with the dogs, 3%.
LA County has sent 12 of their cadaver dogs to help with the search. All of this, of course, as families still want to reconnect with their loved ones, because we're talking about 1,000 people still unaccounted for. Joe Schilling's family says they believe he died. He was hunkered down in an apartment complex that was destroyed in the fire.
He would do anything to help anybody, even a stranger.
Among those confirmed killed, Carol Hartley. She was running to escape the flames with her longtime partner, Charles. He survived but suffered third-degree burns.
I can't even go to sleep. I'm having dreams of her just on fire in front of me. She had a heart of gold, and she cared about other people more than herself.
Many survivors say they had no warning. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency confirming none of the island's comprehensive siren systems were ever activated.
The circumstance was greatly complicated also by the heat and the speed with which the fire spread, destroying a great deal of infrastructure. Over time, we'll be able to figure out if we could have better protected people.
And as residents begin to pick up the pieces, some believe state officials should create policies to prevent outsiders from grabbing land from Lahaina residents who've already lost so much.
We don't want to be displaced any more than we already have been. We're all hurt, we're all grieving. You know, a lot of our hearts were here and it's now completely gone. But we're still here. We have to keep it that way.
Melissa Adon, ABC News, Maui.
It's a tragic situation. I just learned yesterday, person I went to high school with, their family lost everything. They have their lives, but them and their small children, everything's gone. So many people in that same situation. Thoughts and prayers with them.
Yeah, definitely for them and everyone going through that. But I mean, it just goes to show, and we don't know how this started, but how fast these wildfires can spread.
Yep, exactly. And of course, nothing like that, even to that extreme, close to South Central Texas. But we have had to deal with some grass fires and some brush fires over the past couple of weeks, just because things have been so dry and they've been so hot. And fire danger will still be elevated at times in the days ahead. So that's something to keep in mind for sure. I do want to touch on the heat first. All right, ending yesterday, we had 9 consecutive days of record heat. That's either tying the existing record highs or breaking the existing record highs. Yesterday we got up to 105, which broke the previous record of 104 that was set back in the 1960s. Today We did not break a record, so that is good news, but of course it was still very hot out there. We had a high temperature of 104 here in San Antonio officially, but that is 2 degrees shy of the record of 106 set back in 1962. So kind of a glass half full kind of way to look at it. But unfortunately, we do have more record challenging heat in the forecast, all starting with tomorrow. So here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast, planning out your Monday. As we were talking about a little bit earlier, I think some clouds are going to build back in. By the time the sun comes up, we're going to start off around 80 degrees at 7 a.m. Notice already by lunchtime, though, we're seeing that morning cloud cover break up and scatter out a bit more. More sunshine helping temperatures climb into the low 90s at noon, and then into the later portions of our Monday afternoon, even more sun. And we've got another forecast high slated for about 104 degrees here in San Antonio, 105 in Pleasanton, stretching over to Floresville, 104 in Seguin, 103 in Canyon Lake, 103 as well for places like Hondo as well as Sabinal. And if that 104 verifies, by the way, here in town tomorrow afternoon, it will once again tie the existing record of 104 set back in 2020. And you can see moving forward, the triple-digit days, they still aren't going anywhere. In fact, each afternoon, we will come close to break or tie the existing records in place. So it is still definitely going to be a stretch of days to be careful out there in this heat. And this is why. Here is that big blue H, our heat high pressure, right now anchored just off to our east. You can see that rain making energy and even some severe weather possible across the northern edge of that high pressure. Watch what happens, though, over the next 48 hours. By tomorrow afternoon, the center of that high pressure is still off to our east, but it's going to start shifting farther westward, especially as we head into the early morning hours of our Tuesday. Center itself closer to the Four Corners region. And as it does that, it may leave just enough room for a weak boundary to slip into the Lone Star State. Don't get too excited because, as we just saw, it's not going to impact our temperatures, but what it could do is provide just enough lift combined with the moisture and the heat in place to maybe spark up a few stray showers, especially on Tuesday. Not completely out of the question that we don't find a stray shower across our eastern counties tomorrow afternoon and evening, but the slightly better chance and only about a 10 to 20% shot is on Tuesday. Got to manage expectations. I do think most of us are going to miss out, unfortunately, but it is something, and do know that we will continue to monitor that for you as well. But because it has been so dry, it has been so hot, as we were talking about earlier as well, fire danger is still going to be elevated at times over the next several days. So here's just some more of those fire safety tips to remember. No campfires or burn piles. Avoid using tools that create sparks, especially welding. Dispose of your cigarettes properly as well. But of course, we'll continue to keep tabs on all of those things in the coming days. The big thing is still going to be that record challenging heat. So stay hydrated. We'll just keep on pushing through until we find some relief at some point.
At some point, we're going to get there.
Yes, we will.
We just don't know how long it'll take. Thank you, Mia.
Preview of Instant Replay right after this. With the addition of Tony Parker, the San Antonio Spurs now have 14 former players enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. And when it comes to coaches and contributors, the Spurs are now up to 5 now that Coach Pop is in the hall. For more of what's on Instant Replay, KSAT's King of the Road, Larry Ramirez, in the house tonight.
King of the Road, I absolutely loved that. And I'll tell you what, I loved being up there covering the Hall of Fame. It was so cool seeing all the Hall of Famers, the current class, the previous guys. Saturday night was a blast for Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, and Becky Hammond. All 3 are now members of an elite club, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
This morning. Yeah, we left last night after the game, but you know it's a 4.5 hour kind of trip. So I think we pulled in at 6, and by the time I got into the hotel and kind of got situated, it was about 7:30. So I slept for about 3 hours, and here we are.
And going on fumes, we caught up with Becky Hammond as she walked the red carpet before she was enshrined in the Hall of Fame. During her acceptance speech, Becky delivered a moment that brought many in the house to tears, including Coach Pop.
What I learned from Manu, once he came to me one day, he says, you know, I'm moaning and groaning at him, and Bob, I am Manu. This is what I do. It's a true story, quote unquote. And at that point, I learned how to zip it and just let him play.
Pop was both funny and serious during his speech, but some of his best stuff came when talking about David Robinson and the Big Three. Pop certainly knows how to entertain a crowd.
Sorry, I have a lot of French people in town. Sorry. Got a big French mafia. Sorry.
Yeah, the French Mafia was loud and proud of their guy, Tony Parker, who's now a Hall of Fame point guard. And one of his best moments during his speech involved Michael Finley. Plus, we got the Cowboys, Texans, San Antonio FC, Astros, and the Rangers, and 2 baseball players from New Braunfels High School faced off in the Bigs. And here they are tipping their caps to each other before facing each other for the first time in the Bigs. It was pretty cool. Plus, a former UTSA star shines in Las Vegas for the Raiders. We got it for you on instant replay. It's jam-packed as usual.
I love that moment behind you.
Right, isn't that pretty cool? Look at that.
That's baseball.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks, Larry. More great moments coming up. All right, still to come on the Night Beat. Pipe problems. The San Antonio couple was shocked when they got a water bill 25 times more than the usual cost. KSAT investigates what went wrong.
Plus, teaching veterans about tech. Next on the Night Beat, how a San Antonio program is setting veterans and their spouses up for success.
A free tech training program for veterans, their spouses, and at-risk youth. We reported on this pilot program back in February.
Yeah, and the first NPower graduates were so successful, it's now a rooted program here in San Antonio. They just started an even bigger wave of training, and it's not too late to join.
Michaela Fry has been a military spouse for over 2 decades.
My husband served 21 years. He's retired, finally retired through Air National Guard, and still works on base.
Now she's focusing on her career in tech thanks to NPower, a national nonprofit offering veterans and spouses free IT training. In February, she caught our story on KSAT about the new pilot program in San Antonio. She signed up, just graduated on Friday, and already has started an apprenticeship.
Are you earning more now than you have before?
Absolutely. There's no question.
The first 16 weeks of the program cover basic tech training, offering 4 industry certifications.
I have my CompTIA ITF. I have Google Project Management, Google Fundamentals.
Then NPower can help her earn more certifications as she progresses.
Now, a lot of these classes are virtual, but students do come here to this office off of 410 to get help with cover letter and resume writing, as well as mock interviews.
92% of the students stayed through the whole pilot program, and 1/3 of the class already has new jobs. 44% of the class were women, furthering an NPower goal.
Increasing the amount of women in tech. They represent 5% globally. And so we're looking to diversify tech, change the stereotypes.
NPower San Antonio site director Samantha Coleman says another goal is to include more at-risk youth ages 18 to 26 in their classes.
Moving people from poverty to middle class status and reaching the most vulnerable in the community.
Fry hopes anyone eligible will take advantage.
It's opened up an entire world to me that I just never thought I would be able to achieve. I thought that was for other people, and now I can.
Congratulations to her and the other graduates. If you are interested in signing up for the program, just contact NPower. We've got their information on our website. If you don't have a laptop or Wi-Fi hotspot, that doesn't have to hold you back. The organization can provide them for you.
Happening around America, 2 pilots forced to eject from a fighter jet in Michigan this afternoon.
Yeah, it happened during an air show in Ypsilanti, about 30 miles west of Detroit. The jet went down near an apartment complex, but thankfully no one on the ground was hurt. Both pilots were found and taken to the hospital, both expected to recover. The air show immediately ended after the crash, and all visitors had to leave the airfield. The Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are both investigating the incident.
We're learning more information about a deadly home explosion near Pittsburgh. Investigators there say 5 people died in that blast. This Ring doorbell camera you're looking at captured the entire explosion. That blast flattened the home it happened at and destroyed 2 other homes that were nearby. About a dozen other homes in that neighborhood also sustaining damage. First responders from 18 different fire departments responding to that explosion. Allegheny County Emergency Services say it could take them years for investigators to figure out what triggered it.
Please understand that this will be a slow and long process as
things need to be tested, and there will be lots of forensic testing to be able to prove anything one way or another, and that this investigation may last for months, if not years.
But they will continue to search for answers.
And staying in Pennsylvania, a third victim has now died days after a shooting at a Philadelphia neighborhood basketball court. It happened Friday evening when police say 5 gunmen got out of a car, stormed the basketball court, and fired more than 50 shots. 4 young men were shot and 2 of them were pronounced dead at the scene. Friday night, this all happened, and 5 suspects are still on the loose. The investigators believe the attack was planned.
It does seem like they had a specific group or person they were going at to shoot. If it is one group against another group, that's what we have to be concerned with.
One other victim is still in the hospital, and they are in critical condition.
And in Ohio, 4 people, including 3 teenage women, are in the hospital after a block party shooting in Cincinnati this morning. It happened just south of the main campus of the University of Cincinnati. A 17-year-old girl, 2 19-year-old women, and a 20-year-old man were all shot. All 4 are expected to survive. So far, no arrests have been made. To politics now. 2024 Republican frontrunner and former President Donald Trump facing another possible indictment this week over the alleged efforts to interfere with the 2020 election results in Georgia.
And meanwhile, as President Biden seeks re-election, his son Hunter is facing his own legal troubles. ABC's Aaron Katersky looks at the week ahead.
Donald Trump is leading in the polls against his Republican opponents as he seeks the GOP presidential nomination, but his legal troubles are mounting. The former president facing a possible 4th indictment this week for his alleged attempts to interfere in the 2020 election outcome in Georgia. During a phone call in January of 2021, Trump urged Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes for him to win Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has said her work is accomplished, and at least 2 witnesses said they've been called to testify early this week before a grand jury. Trump has been unsuccessful in trying to disqualify Willis from prosecuting him, and he has denied all wrongdoing. Gabriel Sterling, a Republican and top Georgia elections official, has repeatedly rebuked the former president's claims of fraud, telling ABC's This Week he thinks Trump's rhetoric, including a recent campaign ad attacking Willis, could lead to violence once again.
We've been saying this over and over again. We counted the ballots 3 times. He lost this state, and he continues to say he didn't lose it, and it's just creating a lot of tension and a lot of chaos.
Meanwhile, President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is facing his own legal challenges. He was set to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges last month, and he would have agreed to a pretrial diversion on a separate gun charge, but the deal collapsed. And on Friday, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed David Weiss as special counsel to oversee his years-long investigation into Hunter Biden. His attorney speaking out on CBS's Face the Nation.
I'm confident that if this prosecutor does what has been done for the last 5 years, look at the facts, the evidence, and the law, then the only conclusion can be what the conclusion was on July 26. It's new evidence. There's no new evidence to be found.
Prosecutors saying in court filings the parties are at an impasse in negotiations and the government believes the case will not resolve short of a trial. The judge has given Hunter Biden until Monday to respond. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, Atlanta.
Back here at home, let's go back outside with live cam here tonight. Not a whole lot going around along the San Antonio area, but it is a little breezy out there. Like what we've seen the past several nights, after the sun goes down, those temperatures start to drop off. Those winds pick up. So we've seen some wind gusts upwards of about 25 to even 30 miles per hour at times this evening. Here's a look at highs today across the area. The vast majority of us once again getting into the triple digits. 108 out west in Del Rio, as well as Carrizo Springs, Cotulla climbing to 109. Right now, we're in the low 90s here in San Antonio. Still more record challenging heat in store over the next several days. It'll be a warm and muggy start around 80, especially tomorrow and into Tuesday, but you can see 104, 103, and then potentially even climbing by a degree or 2 into the back half of the upcoming work week. So we'll talk all about that in more detail coming up, as well as get you a look at the tropics in just a few.
Coming up next, water woes. The San Antonio couple got charged thousands more than usual for their monthly water bill. KSAT investigates the pipe problem. Next.